Yes, guys, my subscribers and those, of course, who have not subscribed but are going to subscribe at the end of this video. I welcome you once again. My name is Baraka Hab, and I'm so happy to have this video again and again for you, my viewers. And this video, I just want to share with you a simple PHP Crud validation and authentication helper, which I created just of recent, and I feel like sharing it with you will be better, and maybe you can be interested in it. Maybe you can use it in your project. Maybe you can modify and add a lot to it. So, what does it do? It's not suitable for big projects. It's so good for those who are in a rush, maybe students. You want to have your project done in one day, you want to have your project done in 2 days, you have a final year project which you need to do, and there are a lot of course, frameworks, but they are so hard to use. You need time, and they are so much complicated. You need to download thousands of files for you to have like a simple project, a simple school project. That's why I created this. It is so good. And this project, what do you need? You only need this folder for your project. Maybe with the assets, of course, these are just Bootstrap and jQuery. So the only thing, the only folder you need in your project is this. These four files: the auth, crud, database, DB, and the validator. These others, I just created them for the sake of this video. I created a simple project which we are going to use for a demo. I hope at the end of this video you have had, or you have learned something, or you have gotten something out of this. And I hope this project helps you propel your other projects forward. Thank you so much. I think we should get started. Let's first start by starting a server in PHP. Localhost 8000. So I have the server started. Let's try come here and refresh. We have this login page. Now I have the index, which is what does it do? I want to show you step by step what each item does. So when I try to access the index, it redirects me back to the login page. Let's try to check the index. What does it do? We have the index here. You see, this is the index file. And we have this. I think this. It's saying that check if user is logged in, or else redirect to the login page. If not auth, check redirect to login.php. This is the only thing. Once I remove this, it will be able to work. So index, it will work automatically. But this is not what I want. So these three lines here, this statement is the only statement which guards this file from being accessed by unauthorized users, unauthorized and unauthenticated users. So we have this to check whether the user is authenticated or not, or the user is logged in or not. Now let's go back to the login. Now the login also checks if, remember this one was if not, index was if not. You see this, and we have the login which is if. Check if the user is logged in, there's no need to access the login page. There's no need. So we check whether the user is logged in. If the user is logged in, redirect that user back to the index. That's what this code does. Good. Now we have the login page. Let's try to see. We are seeing here, when I try to submit without filling in, say filled email required, filled password required. What does that? We have the validator helper here. But before we reach there, let's first go back to the login. We are validating from here. Check, validate, name is email, password, value, the variable is email, and required, this. This is it. Required, yes. Another one, email name, value required. So these are the validating of validation lines which are validating this form. Then it will echo, it check. If success, good, continue. Otherwise, display errors, and they are displayed from here. Echo errors. This is what we have here. So let's try to log in. The same thing applies to register. You can see the same thing, the same logic applies to register. So for now, let's try to go back and log in. Oh my God, don't worry about that. So we have now, I think I had an account already. Email does not exist. Another error. I need to register another one, I think. Let me register Mac. Email.com. Hello. Mac. This is the name. Mac. Right. So then after logging in, what does it do? It doesn't take you anywhere. After signing up, you're automatically taken back to the login page. Then I have my account ready. So after logging in, this is my simple dashboard which I can access. I can log out, I can select all, I can insert, I can check the user details of the logged in user. Have this name, email. It's just something simple. And then the insert, we can add the post, we can add the content from here. So we can also select all. If in case we select all of them here. Let's try to get some content. Create some anyway. Submit. So post inserted successfully. When you select all, we have this title, slug, have this slug, we have the save and fail content. It has been truncated from here to only 30, I think 30 characters. Then we can show that it's full. You can see have the title, and at the same time we can update that same thing. Maybe to add some zeros to update. That's what we have here. Then they can also, I don't want to delete you guys because I don't want to, okay, let me delete it for the sake of, so it has been deleted successfully. So we can, all those, well, how does it work, and how is it coming out like that? Let's check the code. Let's start with the insert. You can see how easy this helper is. We start by requiring all the files in this folder, all the helpers using this function auto loading. Then we register them. We register that function, and after that, once we start instantiating the classes, then the auth becomes a new auth. Of course, this one we all know that. Then I will check the user. This is the insert file. Then in errors, we first set them to empty or to null. Then we start checking the forms here. Of course, you do this from any other file. For me, I decided to use it within the form file. Then I check title content. I validate. After validation, I check if validated success, continue. Else, display errors, which are displayed from here. You can see this. So now here, after it being success, we create a table variable called table. We set it to posts table. Then another variable called fields, which will have any array of the fields we are going to set into the database. We have the author ID, which is the session ID of the currently logged in user. We have the title, which is here, the slug, which is turning it lower, that's those things, and we replace with the dash. Then the content, which is also here. After that, we call our method called insert. And that method we pass two variables, table and the fields. So what does the insert do? The insert comes, where is our helper? It's called Crud helper, of course. The DB is where you connect the database from. We have the localhost, the server, the username, and the root. It checks from here. Then we have the Crud. Now this is the Crud. We can select all. We can you can see select all. We can return. So just then we have the finds a row by ID, the primary key. Then you have the insert, which is here. You see all this. Then after inserting, so for you, what you'll do, you not need to write all of this. You just need to call a method, you pass in the variables, and everything works automatically for you. The same applies to, because we also have the password reset. Let me just take you through the password reset. Let me first open the database. Shame I've forgotten the password, and I put in any email which is not registered. I'll have this email does not exist. Check your email and try again. So if I put in the email which is registered, it will send a code. I have not added that to send a code via email, but it sends a code. It is supposed to send a code. Once you have that class PHP mailer library, you put in the project and you send that code. You can modify the code or the helper, you put in that code, which sends an email, the password reset email to the user or to the email provided. Then you in that email, it provides a code. That code is sent via the email, and then it is also stored in the database, the password resets table. So you can see from here that we have this user, Mark Bright, and this is the code. So this code, once the user gets it from the email, they are supposed to put it here. Let's try to put any code which is not valid. It will throw an error, code is incorrect. So the moment we set in the code, we come here. It then takes us to password reset, where I can set a new password. So here I can decide to set a new password. I submit. Once I submit, let's try to access. All these pages there's a way they are so much protected that you cannot just come from Roy and try to access the reset page. It will not work. You have to access the reset page when you have gone through the steps for a password reset. Confirm code. Confirm code. Okay, let me see. Confirm reset. Okay, it will take you to page not found. I don't think. Okay, so but the password reset page is automatically blocked from any other user apart from when a user has gone through the required steps for you to access that. That's how it is protected. One thing I want to add is just about the sending email. In case someone puts in the email, it has to send an email to that user with the password reset code, which is able to put and they be able to change their passwords. Okay, but basically this is how it works. There's a lot of functions there. The validation has a lot. You can validate based on the pattern, whether this is a URL, whether it's an address, whether it is a proper text, whether it is a phone number. You can validate whether it's a minimum or maximum. all those kinds of validation to equal to maximum size, whether an extension to get an extension, all those are included in the validator. Then we have the CRUD. You can select all, you can select the find, you can select the insert, you can update, you can delete, you can of course also truncate, which is limiting the number of strings. Authentication, we have this. Can also, the check is here. The check is here. Then the password reset, that code has to expire in 1 hour. Anything beyond 1 hour, it won't work. It will throw an error that the code is expired, you request again. So basically, this is a simple but powerful PHP Crud authentication and validation helper, which I do think that you will need, not in your big projects, but in some small projects, maybe for school, maybe for some low or small budget projects, of course. And someone is offering a small budget, you don't need to stress yourself with Laravel or anything, unless when, so you can just use this, you improve on it by you're seeing anything you can improve on it. Thank you so much, and I wish you the best. Thank you so much.